name is Luna, and you're listening to Infinite Souls, a podcast for that real talk about consciousness, spirituality, and realizing our infinite potential. Mucho, mucho love and light. Hello, Infinite Souls. Welcome to another podcast. I'm Luna, and today's episode is a solo episode. I have some guests coming up for the next couple of weeks, so I'm excited for that. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your presence and your time and energy and your love. I have been taking it very slow, and it's been hard, honestly. The first couple weeks of March, but it's getting better. So for you who may not know, my grandmother passed on Monday, so she transitioned, I like to call it, because it's really a transition of one life to another. I don't believe that it's something to be feared or scared of. It's the unknown, you know. We could be going to a whole nother life, or we could be going to source. You know, I think that our energy doesn't die, because energy doesn't die, and we are of that source energy. So that source energy is always going to exist, and it's just the body that dies, you know, the physical vessel. And so I can still communicate with my grandmother. She can probably help me more now on the spiritual side. And so thank you to all the people who reached out. It's been pretty hard because I was being very strong. I was feeling it emotionally, but I was being strong, and I wasn't really crying much, because I was being strong for my mom, and it's okay, you know, but also it wasn't primarily because for my mom. I was also being strong because I was driving, you know, in the moment that it happened. Because when I was home, I was crying. But when I was driving, I was like, no, you know, I can't cry. Like, my mom is like here. And if I crash the car because I can't see because I'm crying, you know. So anyway, but I feel like I did hold back a little bit. And so me holding back and not resting and not taking time to just settle in. Like, I really hadn't taken it in. Like, as I was on the move, like everything was starting to speed up in my life. And so all of a sudden, like, this was up. And so what happened is that I got, quote unquote, I got sick on Friday. So like 4 days later. And I got like sinuses really, really bad. And your sinuses connected to your throat chakra. So not speaking up, not expressing yourself, not showing your emotions, you know, not crying and all that stuff. So it makes sense, you know, that I would have gotten sick from that during this time, because I was in a low vibration, because the low vibration happened because I was not eating well. I was being, you know, just laying in bed because I was sad. I wasn't getting the exercise that I needed. And so it all caught up on me, you know. It does. It all happens together when your vibration goes low. And then also another thing, I was not meditating as often as I did. Like, there was like a couple of days that I didn't meditate at all, except for like a nighttime meditation where I would put like frequencies on to go to bed, or affirmations sometimes I put on to go to bed. But all of that lowered my vibration and makes your immune system go down. It's already scientifically proven. And that's why I got sick. I feel a lot better today, thank God. I've been doing Reiki on myself. I've also been taking elderberry. I've been also drinking a lot of vitamins, having juices like I normally was doing before I got, sad for a few weeks. Which I'm not judging myself for falling off of my practice a little bit. Like, it's okay. I was experiencing life and it's okay. Now I'm getting back onto it. Now I'm taking care of my body. Like, your body's very important to take care of no matter what. And so these are lessons that I'm learning, and I'm grateful to be able to witness this happening and witness the growth within me and the expansion and the knowledge that is being downloaded. So bearing witness to my own growth is a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that. And I've been wondering a lot about different things involving death, because obviously death is very present for me at the moment. And the question popped up, like, what happens after we die? Like, nobody really knows. You know what I mean? Nobody really actually knows. We're all guessing. And some of us, have gotten downloads and are able to channel aliens and all that stuff, but we don't know personally. We haven't been there in the physical, and I don't think we can. We can only be there in the spiritual. So this is a very unique and amazing place to be, in the physical. A lot of beings want to be here in the physical plane, because we get to experience all of our senses, all this stuff that non-physical beings don't really get to experience. And so, feeling good things, feeling pleasure and pain, they're two sides of the same coin. We have to feel both of them. Both of them are part of the human experience. And if you can give love to the darkness, as well as giving love to the light, obviously, that's the meaning of loving all, loving your light and your darkness within you, because if you can love it within you, then you can love it within someone else. And that is the truest form of unconditional love. And I don't know why I got on this topic of your truest form. But yeah, death has always been a topic that I have been fascinated with, not in a scary way. Don't calm down. I mean, because I'm a Scorpio, I think Scorpios naturally are called to the dark side, to the darkness. So if you guys don't know about astrology much, or about Scorpios much, I don't know much about astrology personally. I just know mine and the people around me. I'm beginning to learn more and more, every here and there. I take astrology with a grain of salt, because I think that everyone is unique and has the ability to create their own free will and do whatever they want. So in any case, Scorpios, their card in tarot is the death card, right? They represent death. They represent the darkness, mystical, mysterious things, the unknown, the unseen. And since they do represent that darkness, a lot of dark things happen to them. They usually attract things that will push them to extreme growth, and they're changing constantly. I mean, we all are, but these people, I mean, the Scorpios, they change like every 6 months, I tell you. And it's a real thing. So at the core, you are you, because you who you are is actually love, right? Just unconditional love. So at your core, that's who you are, the free soul of unconditional love. But aside from that, you have these identities that you place on yourself, these constructs that help you live life according to your passions, your dreams, your goals, your desires, your desired outcome, right? And so all these identities, all these personality traits that we put upon ourselves, we can change and mold and do whatever we want with them. And so every 6 months, a Scorpio is changing. And so they may be different. Like, I'm different now. You have to get to know me all over again. You know what I mean? Like, and it's so crazy because I heard this the other day, a girl talking something about this. I don't remember exactly what she was saying, but it made me think like, wow, that explains so much. That explains so much about me, you know, because I always felt like they used to call me a chameleon because I used to change my hair color all the time, like every 6 months or every 3 months sometimes. It was pretty bad. My hair was so damaged. Anyway, side note. So it just made so much sense. And this gave me clarity for me to stop judging myself, because I realized that my whole life I hated anybody wanting to call me fake, because I was never ever trying to be fake. I'm like as real as they come. I always have thought that of myself. And when somebody would call me, well, there was one girl that called me fake, right? When that happened, I was so like disturbed. And now I'm looking back and I'm realizing that I was so disturbed about being called fake, because I wasn't even sure of my own identity, because I was constantly changing, because that's my nature. And so I shouldn't judge myself for constantly changing, even though at the core I'm still that good, loving soul. And then believe me, I don't do anything harm. I don't do no harm to nobody ever, you know, like never purposely. And there's times that you have let people down, and I have let people down too sometimes, you know, and it happens. But at the end of the day, you know what your soul is, right? You know who you are, your soul. You know where that soul comes from source energy. And whatever changes you go through, you learn to let go of those old identities and those old patterns and those old things, and you learn to change and evolve and keep growing. It's the nature of life to keep growing and changing and evolving, you know. And so Scorpios, I just do it more often, I think. And what happens is that some people can get lost in that stuff, lost in other people's darkness or sadness, you know, and take it upon themselves if they don't know how to consistently be connected to spirit and have some type of practice where they're cleansing themselves. When you meditate and you breathe and you're taking that oxygen and you bring in light, or whatever you're doing in meditation, you are connecting to source energy. You know what I mean? And so if you do that, if you're taking in source energy, then it's cleansing you. It's cleansing your aura. It's cleansing your space. It's cleansing your body. It is revitalizing you, making you healthier, down to the DNA of the cells that are in your body. You know, this is all science. It's proven now. So I do want to mention, because since I'm on the topic of meditation, I want to mention that I watched a live Zoom call that they had, Dr. Joe Dispenza and his team. They presented the results for a study that they did. The study was testing that whole little virus virus thing that's going out there. I don't want to say the word, but so that was out there. We're going to speak in the past tense. So they basically saw that people were not getting sick because they were meditating. Meditation makes you create this protein that's called serpin A5, and that protein covers the cell so that when some type of illness comes and tries to get into the cell, it cannot. And so that's the basic explanation, but it can go more in depth. I'm sure they've already have it out for the public, but it was just so freaking amazing. And I had not gotten sick for 2 years. Like, not like this. Like, well, I got sick a year ago. But it was sinuses as well. And it was also because I was not crying. So I need to release my tears when I feel them. You know what I mean? Because last year I had another uncle pass. And so it's been a wild ride, and I'm hanging in there. And I'm just so grateful for the community that I have online that has really helped me feel seen and heard and loved, and I love every single one of you. I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful day. I just went on a rant this whole podcast. It didn't really have a destination. And, but I hope that you reach some type of realization within you with me sharing these thoughts, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to share and learn from you and also help you by sharing. Maybe you can see something within yourself from me sharing my experience. And it's very important that we all share our experiences, because by sharing and being yourself, you give other people permission to also share and be themselves and not feel judged or self-conscious. I mean, that still happens sometimes. But in any case, I just want to wish you guys a happy week. Happy Tuesday. I love you all. Have a beautiful day, and I'm grateful for you. Mucho love.